For years, they've told you that to be a man, you need to have money, status, power, and a certain image. They've told you that success with women is about how many things you can flex or how many places you can take her. But here's the truth. Most of you are still chasing validation. You're still playing a game where the rules aren't even yours. And deep down, you know it. You've watched countless dating tips, read endless books on how to get the girl, and yet something's missing. You feel disconnected, frustrated, maybe even lost. You've achieved things you thought would make you feel like a real man, but now, here you are, still feeling like something's not clicking. Why does it feel like no matter how much you do, you still can't break through the surface? Why does it feel like you keep attracting the wrong people or find yourself stuck in shallow connections? I'm here to tell you that 99% of men still don't know the most important truth of all. Real success with women, with life, with yourself, comes from within. This isn't about being perfect or playing a part. It's about healing, understanding, and stepping into who you really are. You need to realize one thing. If you want to connect emotionally and find lasting relationships, the real change starts with you. It's time to stop pretending. It's time to stop chasing validation, and it's time to step into your full power. I want you to stop for a second and really hear me out. You're not the only one feeling lost. It doesn't matter how many times you scroll through social media and see other guys flexing their success, posting their perfect relationships, or pretending to have it all together. They're lost too. They're just better at hiding it. It's easy to look at the world around you and feel like everyone else is winning while you're stuck in a cycle of frustration, confusion, and self-doubt. But I need you to understand something deep down. This feeling you're going through, this struggle, this sense of being stuck, it's something that we all go through. It's something every man experiences at some point on the way to becoming who he's meant to be. When I talk to men, real men, not the ones you see online putting on a show, they all share a common thread. They've all felt that emptiness, that uncertainty. They've all gone through periods where they question who they are, where they're going, and whether they're really enough. And if I'm being real with you, I've felt it too. I've been there, standing in front of the mirror, questioning myself, thinking I wasn't doing enough, wasn't good enough. And the truth is, if you're sitting here thinking that you're the only one who feels this way, you're not. Every man goes through this. You think you're the only one struggling with dating, feeling like your connections with women are shallow or just never quite deep enough. Maybe you've achieved things. Maybe you've built a career. Maybe you've got money. Maybe you've got that look that people admire, but there's still this hole inside of you. It's like you're doing everything right, but something's missing. Something's off. That's because you're looking for fulfillment in all the wrong places. You think that if you just get this one thing, this woman, this car, this success, that it will make you feel complete. But it won't. And you know it deep down. You're chasing something outside of yourself to fix the feeling you have within. And that's the thing. You've got to stop running from this feeling, from this struggle, because it's in the struggle that you're going to find your breakthrough. It's not a weakness to feel lost. It's a sign that you're evolving, you're growing, you're becoming the man who is capable of something greater. I need you to understand, brother, that you are not alone in this. Every man has faced his demons, wrestled with his emotions, and struggled to find clarity. But it's in this journey, in this uncertainty, that you're shaping the person you're meant to be. Keep going. Keep leaning into this uncomfortable space. It's temporary, and you will come out stronger. The pain, the frustration, the confusion, it's all part of the process. And when you embrace it, when you stop fighting it, that's when you step into your power. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you really sat down and thought about what society has taught you about being a man? When was the last time you really questioned the beliefs you've been handed since you were a kid? We're raised with this script, right? A script that says if you want to be a man, you need to have a certain kind of job, a certain amount of money, and a certain kind of woman on your arm. From the time we're little, we're taught that being successful means having these external things, money, power, status. We're told that a real man is someone who shows no weakness, never shows emotion, and just goes after what he wants without hesitation. But here's the thing, none of that is true. I need you to listen to me closely when I say this. What you've been told about what it means to be a man is a lie, a big lie. Society has sold you an image of masculinity that is shallow, one-dimensional, and completely disconnected from your true self. It's been feeding you this narrative that if you have the right clothes, the right car, and the right woman, you'll somehow feel complete, somehow feel whole. But you won't. And deep down, you know that. You've probably gotten all those things, or at least some version of them, and yet you still feel like something's missing. You still feel disconnected, still feel empty, still feel like you're playing a role instead of living your truth. This is the harsh truth we don't talk about enough. Real success, real power, and real happiness don't come from things. They don't come from what you have or what others think of you. They come from within. It's about how you see yourself. It's about being in touch with your emotions, your vulnerability, and your authenticity. Real masculinity is not about being a robot who never feels anything. It's about being fully human, owning your emotions, owning your struggles, and using them as a source of strength. When you're willing to be real, when you stop pretending to be something you're not, that's when you finally start to feel truly powerful. Think about this for a second. If you're still measuring your worth by external factors, by how much you make, or how many people admire you, you're always going to fall short. The pressure will crush you. But when you start to look inward, when you start to define success for yourself on your terms, everything changes. That's when you stop chasing after things that don't matter and start building a life that feels real, a life that feels authentic. And trust me, that's the only kind of success that will ever fill you up in a way that truly lasts. I want to get real with you for a moment. I know you've been out there working hard, doing your best, trying to keep it all together. And I get it. You've been chasing validation from women, from your friends, from your social media followers. You're out here grinding, trying to prove your worth to the world. But here's the thing. That chase is exhausting. It's draining you. It's taking pieces of you and leaving you with nothing real to show for it. The more you chase that external approval, the emptier you feel inside, and deep down, you know it. You know that the more you chase the likes, the comments, the praise, the more you feel like you're falling short, like you're not enough. And that's because you're not meant to find your worth in what others think of you. I need you to understand something that's going to change everything. Validation can't come from the outside. It can't. It won't ever fill the void. The truth is, as long as you keep chasing approval from others, you're going to feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill. You get one win, one compliment, one little boost to your ego, and for a moment, you feel good. But then it fades. You need another hit, and it never ends. It's like an addiction that leaves you empty, stuck in a loop of trying to prove yourself over and over again. You'll never get enough of it because the external stuff is just noise. It doesn't define who you truly are. What if I told you that the real key to all of this, what you've been looking for all along, starts with you? Your worth starts with you, not anyone else. You need to stop seeking validation from others because, in reality, no one else can tell you who you are. You're the only one who gets to define that. You are enough as you are. And when you truly believe that, when you stop seeking external validation, you will feel a sense of freedom you've never felt before. Imagine how different your life would be if you could wake up every day knowing that you don't need anyone else's approval to feel complete. Imagine walking through your day not seeking approval from the woman you're interested in, not trying to impress your friends, not trying to measure up to some impossible standard. You would be able to show up as your authentic self, no pressure, no masks. That's the power that comes when you stop chasing validation. When you stop running, when you stop pretending, when you start living for you, that's when you finally get to build something real, something lasting. Because the truth is, brother, the only validation that matters is the one you give yourself. And once you own that, you'll see the world change around you. Let me tell you something that a lot of men won't admit. Emotional intelligence is everything. And I don't just mean knowing how to manage your own emotions. I'm talking about really understanding and connecting with your feelings, being able to communicate them, and this is the most important part, understanding others too. This is the game changer. The thing that makes all the difference in how you show up in your relationships, how you show up in your career, and honestly, how you show up in your life as a whole. We've been taught that to be a man, you've got to keep it all together, never show weakness, never let anyone see you struggle. But here's the problem with that. When you bottle everything up, when you shut off those emotions and pretend they're not there, you're cutting yourself off from real connection. You cannot connect with anyone, whether it's a woman, a friend, or even yourself, if you're not in touch with what's going on inside. You can't be your best self, and you can't be present for others if you're not emotionally aware. Look, I get it. It's easier to just stuff those feelings down and pretend everything's fine. It's easier to keep your guard up and play the part of the tough guy who doesn't need to talk about feelings. But what you need to realize is that this is hurting you. It's keeping you from the deep, meaningful relationships you crave. And it's keeping you from really knowing who you are. Because when you refuse to acknowledge your emotions, you're ignoring a huge part of yourself. Here's the hard truth. Emotions are not a weakness. They're part of what makes us human. And when you embrace that, when you allow yourself to feel what you're feeling without shame, without guilt, that's when you unlock your true strength. The man who can sit with his emotions, understand where they're coming from, and communicate them clearly is the one who leads with confidence and vulnerability. That's where real power lies. Not in being cold or distant or closed off, but in being human. When you start being emotionally intelligent, you also start being a better communicator. You begin to understand what other people are going through, and you stop making everything about you. You learn to listen, to connect, to empathize. This is how you build real, lasting relationships, whether it's with a partner, a friend, or even yourself. Emotional intelligence doesn't just make you a better man, it makes you a whole man. And that's the kind of man who can truly thrive no matter what life throws his way. I need you to hear me on this one, because it's something a lot of men get wrong, and it's holding you back in ways you might not even realize. So many men dive into relationships because they think a partner is going to fix something inside them. They think, if I just find the right woman, everything will be okay. She'll fill this empty space. She'll make me feel whole. But here's the truth. It doesn't work like that. You can't pour from an empty cup. And when you're not whole within yourself, when you're not healed, you're just looking for someone else to do the emotional heavy lifting for you. It's unfair to both you and the woman you're with. You're both setting yourself up for disappointment. I get it, loneliness can feel unbearable. The need to be loved, to be accepted, to feel wanted, it's deep. But if you don't take the time to heal first, to work on your own emotional health, you're just bringing your brokenness into the relationship, and no one can save you. Not a woman, not a job, not anything outside of you. The healing has to come from within. You can't expect someone else to heal your wounds, because the truth is, no one can. That's your responsibility. And I know it's not easy. I know it feels painful to confront the parts of yourself that are broken, the parts you've kept hidden, the parts you've been running from. But that's where the real growth happens. When you allow yourself to face your pain, your trauma, your insecurities, you start to release them. You start to free yourself, but only if you're willing to do the work. Take the time to heal before you start looking for someone to complete you. Work on understanding who you are, what you want, and what your boundaries are. Take responsibility for your emotional health. Because when you do, when you've healed and built a strong foundation within yourself, that's when you can show up fully for someone else. That's when you can create a real, deep, meaningful connection. Think about it. When you're whole, when you've healed, you don't need anyone to fill the gaps. You're not looking for someone to fix you. You're looking for someone to add to your life, to build together with you, to create something beautiful that is rooted in mutual respect, understanding, and emotional depth. But you can't get there until you've taken the time to heal yourself, until you've stepped into your own strength. You deserve to be in a relationship where you're not trying to fix each other, but where you're growing and thriving together as two whole, healed individuals. And that starts with you. It's time to stop living for everyone else. It's time to stop trying to meet everyone's expectations. If you've been running around chasing someone else's idea of who you should be, I need you to listen closely. This is your life, not anyone else's. There's this misconception that being a man means fitting into a box, playing by a set of rules that someone else wrote for you. You think you have to follow a certain path, achieve certain things, act a certain way in order to make it. But I'm here to tell you that none of that is true. It's time for you to break free from that script. And I don't mean just the one society handed you. I'm talking about the one you've been writing for yourself, based on the fear of what others might think. You are not defined by your job, your car, your social circle, or even your past mistakes. You are defined by who you decide to be right now. You have the power to create the life you want. And I know that might sound scary. It might feel uncertain. You might feel like you don't have it all figured out. And that's okay. No one has it all figured out. But what matters is that you begin to take ownership of your journey. Stop pretending to be someone you're not. Stop pretending to fit into a mold that was never meant for you. The only mold you need to fit into is the one that reflects your true self. I want you to think about the version of yourself that you've been running from, the version of yourself that's authentic, unapologetic, and free from the fear of judgment. That's the man you're meant to be. But to step into that version of yourself, you have to let go of the fear, the doubts, and the insecurities that have been holding you back. You have to stop letting the opinions of others dictate who you are. Here's the truth. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs more men who are unafraid to be exactly who they are. The more you try to be like everyone else, the more disconnected you become from your true purpose, from your true power. But when you step into your own light, when you own your truth, with all its flaws and beauty, that's when you'll start to live a life that feels real, a life that feels fulfilling, a life where you're not just surviving, but thriving. You're not here to blend in, brother. You're here to stand out, to be bold, to be unapologetically you. And when you do, everything will fall into place. Trust me. You are enough, just as you are. Now go show the world who you were always meant to be.